So are you saying that he's 2 weeks older? And so I thought maybe that would allow time to wean the baby away from a birth mother if a surrogate was used. It would make sense. But instead of lying to the world, why not just say, we want a baby, we're having a baby, and we're using a surrogate?
Sunlight bathes the manicured hills of Montecito, yet behind those perfect hedges a royal storm is brewing. Whispers swirl that Prince Harry is cracking under pressures no palace guard can fend off. The shock. His fiercest critics are not stiff British courtiers but Meghan Markle's own relatives, who now level their gaze at Meghan and her mother Doria, charging them with masterminding the prince's downfall. Anonymous tips first murmur that Harry wasn't doing well, but soon a bombshell ripped through group chats worldwide. An insider insisted a bodyguard found the Duke unconscious, his panic-stricken rescue leading straight to a California hospital. Suddenly, concern turned to frenzy. Mainstream reporters treaded lightly, yet Meghan's estranged brother Thomas Markle Jr. grabbed the rumor like live dynamite and hurled it at the Sussex brand. "If I had to take one guess at this," he sniped, "maybe Meghan and Doria cooked up a little something on the stove." His words dripped with poison only a wounded sibling can deploy. He sketched a ruthless theory that chilled even hardened royal watchers. Harry, once useful for global headlines, might now be disposable. "Maybe Harry's no use to Meghan anymore," Thomas mused before twisting the knife deeper. "Maybe the divorce rumors are actually true." Then came the coup de grace. "Let's make a new Netflix series and story out of Harry's demise," he sneered. It sounded wild enough to dismiss, yet the accusation echoed a narrative online detectives have silently assembled for months. They trace a prince slipping into free fall while his wife appears to glide upward, laser-focused on American Riviera Orchard, her glossy lifestyle startup. As gossip mounts that Harry grapples with isolation, Meghan showcases homemade jam, reveals custom dog biscuits, and teases the next glitzy launch.
That very much seems that there is a complete unwillingness to make sacrifices for the family, particularly in public or anything else. So I think when you believe you're the main character, you don't need to make sacrifices. Everybody should see how important you are, and they should listen to you, and what you have to say is, the be what everybody pays attention to.
One commentator summarized the optics brutally. "If my husband was not doing well and it was all over the media, I certainly wouldn't be focusing on a business, I'd be focusing on my husband." The contrast is jarring. Critics claim Meghan rarely compromises, spotlighting her own upward journey instead. Analysts observe that she positions herself for success, while those orbiting her can feel the heat of fallout. For watchers, every curated Instagram frame looks dreamlike while behind the scenes the Duke, they say, drifts without anchor. Remember, Harry burned many bridges after leaving royal life. Family back home remains distant, longtime friends keep quiet, and patriotic ties seem frayed. Now, according to insiders, he occupies a glittering mansion yet stands emotionally marooned. The panic intensifies when reading his own memoir Spare. There, Harry praised psychedelics as emotional medicine and spoke openly in televised chats about turning to certain substances when trauma flares. He confided that professional rehab never entered the picture. He shaped a public image of healing by alternative means, and insiders ask, why assume anything changed? If stress peaks, they reason, Harry may default to the sole coping tool he publicly embraced, dialing up risk without a safety net. Observers fear that pattern could explain the dramatic hospital dash. Yet a mystery lingers. Where are the relentless paparazzi or loud gossip sites? In the British press, strict privacy rules and ongoing lawsuits muzzle coverage. Across the Atlantic, however, entertainment outlets famed for hunting celebrity chaos now whisper with surprising restraint. Some conspiracy-minded pundits claim high-level memos urge caution. The suggestion is stunning. Top executives worry that aggressive reporting could invite blame if tragedy strikes. News groups connected to large media chains allegedly embrace a soft-glove approach toward the Duke to dodge moral fallout. That silence leaves space for fringe channels, and most explosively, the Markle family to narrate events. Their story paints Harry as the latest in a line of men who entered Meghan's orbit, only to exit emotionally battered. They reference past partner Trevor Engelson, who regrouped thanks to local support networks, advantages Harry lacks on foreign soil. Inside his Montecito fortress, The prince is said to rely almost entirely on the very household some accuse of engineering his collapse. It is a chilling portrait of dependence and vulnerability. Meanwhile, Meghan's team continues a seamless rollout of sunlit photos featuring roses, bread loaves, and pastel jars. The branding screams effortless bliss, while headlines about her husband grow darker. Social media analysts note the disturbing gap, a feed sparkling with lavender fields posted alongside rumors of medical emergencies. The question claws at the public mind: does Harry even recognize the cage many think encloses him? Or is he too deep inside the gilded bubble to hear alarm bells? Hollywood knows that suspense sells, and the prince's predicament provides a script few writers could imagine. Tragedy, romance, betrayal, redemption, it is all there, staged against crashing Pacific waves. Skeptics insist addiction alone explains the crisis. Others eye a colder plot that leverages sympathy and chaos for future media deals. Both theories agree on one element: Harry stands alone at the center. As night falls over Montecito, cameras stay oddly distant, leaving rumor to rule. Each hour without official clarity allows another startling twist to bloom across forums. If support fails and coping mechanisms backfire, the outcome could be dire. Still, emergencies also awaken resilience, and Harry has shown flashes of iron before. Viewers now watch with hearts and throats, waiting to see whether he will rise or shatter. Observers plead for measured compassion rather than voyeuristic delight, yet the spectacle surges forward. Royal watchers debate digital breadcrumbs while insiders tighten lips. The stage feels primed for a dramatic reveal. Whether that reveal ends in recovery or collapse remains unseen. In the end, this saga asks everyone to decide which lens they trust. Is the prince a vulnerable soul wrestling private demons, or a pawn in a strategic Hollywood production? The truth might combine both shadows. No matter which side wins the argument, one fact burns bright: the fairy tale glow that once surrounded Prince Harry now flickers like a candle in coastal wind. And the hands that guard or extinguish that flame may belong to those he thought he could trust the most. That isolation makes him fragile, and the pressure mounts like cards stacked too high. Financial clouds gather fast. Big money deals have stalled, and surviving contracts depend on Meghan's spotlight, not Harry's. Then comes self-inflicted legal puzzles, like discovering that on his daughter's U.S. birth certificate he listed his royal style instead of his legal name, Henry Charles Albert David. In American law, that title holds no weight, signaling a refusal to accept life after royalty. It screams that the Sussexes believe ordinary rules do not reach their mansion gates. As business prospects shrink, so does their friend circle. Observers notice total silence when former benefactor Tyler Perry hit legal turbulence, a loyalty gap as wide as the Atlantic. To analysts, every road points to one person: Meghan. Estranged relatives, palace insiders, and digital detectives alike insist Harry's sad state stems from choices made under her spell. He allegedly cannot admit it, because acknowledging that the woman he forfeited everything for now fuels his misery would obliterate him. For years he projected his mother Diana's halo onto Meghan, a comforting illusion that cost him his past, present, and possibly his future. The deepest tragedy may fall on their children. Deprived of a grandfather who is king, an uncle who will be king, and cousins steeped in heritage, they grow inside a guilt cage disconnected from roots that once defined their name. Resentment could bloom like hidden dynamite as they discover what was traded away. Us Weekly is no hit piece. It reads like surrender. Pro-Sussex media has waved a white flag, quietly conceding the American dream experiment failed. William and Harry are divided by more than water. They are divided by a single pivotal choice. William chose duty. Harry chose Meghan. The calamity is not that a prince lost his map. It is that he followed someone else's compass straight into a wilderness and now stands alone, staring at the ashes of a life he helped ignite. Can he claw back a path, or is this the finale he selected? Tell us, what's your verdict in the comments?